Now that we understand why we should cultivate this particular grass called the SEMANHYIA grass, SF01 to be specific, we have understood the various types of soil this grass can grow in. And I must say it's a very, very hardy grass to see the various types and how it's still thriving. And more importantly, how you should go about the cultivation. In the very last episode, we saw that in a very swampy area, which we usually advise that is not good for cultivation of SEMANHYIA grass seeds, my project manager today has educated us on how it would even still thrive, but you don't use the seeds for that particular type of soil or land, but you use the suckers. In the continuing episode, our project manager is graciously going to teach us about land preparation. Now you know why, you know the kind of soil which you have and you are going to cultivate. Let's go into the preparation of the land itself, the do's and don'ts, the whys and why nots, and all of that. Let's enjoy this episode from our project manager, Philip. Over to you, Phil.
All right, Nadia. Thank you so much. Guys, I bring you back here on the field again. At this time, I'll be explaining the various types of land preparation. In fact, the various activities you can choose as far as preparing your land or getting ready for planting is concerned, okay? So I'll take you through 3 basic activities or methods, right? So you can either choose to plow and harrow, okay? That's when you are looking at a big size, like for commercial purposes, or you have the machine at your disposal, right? You can choose to plow and then harrow. By harrowing, you just want to get the land on a level path just so that planting will be easy, and then you can still get the seeds to go through the depth that you want, which is 1 inch advisably, right? Even with notwithstanding, you can also inculcate other manual or natural processes of harrowing, right? That's where you leave the land and then you can use simple tools like the rake and then the leveler to at least put the soils together, and then you don't leave any spaces for erosions, right? Good. So we have the plowing and harrowing, right? That's when you use the machines. And then also we have weedicides, so you can apply weedicides. So I'll recommend that when you have a land that your weeds are very low, you know, for some lands you don't have a lot of trees and a lot of big plants that you need to weed. So you can just go in, get a very good non-selective weedicide and apply it on it. So after like 2 days, you can come in and then do your planting. There are some of them that can even die out in a day, right? So you can just get the weedicides, apply them, and then you plant right after. That's also time saving and cost effective. It has no effect on the seed if you apply it before. Okay, so the caveat is you don't apply weedicides after planting. Always apply the weedicides before you plant your seeds. So please take note of that. The last part, it's normal weeding using the hoe and then a cutlass. Okay, so as you can see, my guy here, score. Nice, nice, nice. So he's just clearing the weeds with me. He's just clearing the weeds and then using our simple tool, the cutlass. So we just take away all of these weeds. Now, it's very, very important to clear the weeds and take them totally out of the land or the soil, because these ones, like I said, they grow very, very fast. The local grasses, they grow very, very fast, but they are unwanted plants. You don't need them here. So if you leave them and you're not lucky and you get rains for like 1 or 2 days, trust me, these plants will start germinating again, and it will really affect the growth rate of your SEMANHYIA grass seeds. Okay, so please clear them. You can either gather them and burn them, or you can throw them. So we have a pit there. That's why he's just throwing it away there. We will get our boundaries and everything done so that we don't get them introduced again. So those are the 3 basic land preparation methods that I would like to recommend for you for your planting of your semantia grass seeds. All right, guys. So I bring you back here on the planting field, right? So at this stage, I will teach you how to, in fact, I will show you how to plant your semantia grass seeds, right? I'll take you through 3 basic ways, right? There's one, I'll use the seed planter. Okay, I have a machine here with me that I use. This is a mechanized seed planter, okay? It's very, very simple to use. We have the, come closer, we have the back wheel here. This one actually covers or takes the covering soil onto the hole. So the pins you have here penetrates the soil and split it open. Then the selector will drop the seeds down through the hole. This one is actually set to 1 inch exactly. In fact, that's the recommended level or depth I would assure you to go through when you are planting your seeds. Apart from that, I'll also take you through the manual process. So you can actually do your rope setting, okay? So you can just find 2 right in your farm. You can just, this one is just improvised right here. You don't need to buy these ones. You just get a wood, you just cut them open and you draw your line, right? Come closer. So you just get a string or a line or a rope like this, and then you take your line across it. So you can just do one also here. So this is actually the recommended spacing I would insist you plant with, right?
All of us, all the people who are listening, we urge you to subscribe, to Farming in Africa YouTube.
So it's actually 2 feet. In fact, because I've been doing it for long, I don't even need to measure it. So just by an eyesight, you can see exactly it's 2 feet, right? So you can just measure your leg and then use that. So in between is just 2 feet, and then you put your post right there. You just pull your ropes around it, and then you use your machine or your stamping throughout. So I'll just teach you right away. Just hold on for me. So this is actually the row spacing, okay? The column spacing is also this way. So you can go 2 feet here and go 2 feet that way. So you can just do a stamp which will create the hole. In fact, I've actually carved this wood to 1 inch, right? So just by improvisation, you just do this. This is just right in the farm. You don't need to buy this one, right? So you do that, and then you take it to 2 feet, just on the line. Okay, just on the line. This one will help you get the vertical nature and then the right spacing, right? So after giving the interval, the next thing is just get your seeds and you just plant them in. All right, I'll take you through that shortly. All right, guys, so right after creating the holes, in fact, 2 people can go through this activity seamlessly, right? One doing the rope setting and the stamping to create the holes, and the other just following through and dropping the seeds. Now these seeds are very, very variable, right? The growth rate is very high, so I recommend that you drop at least, or let's say at most four number of seeds. So just this tiny ones, you can just see right here, just drop 4 per hole. At most 4 per hole. You can do 2, you can do 3, but don't exceed 4. So 4 is okay. So either you drop 2, 3, or 4. Be dropping them in the holes like that. Okay. Just be dropping them in the holes. this activity doesn't need to take too long, okay? So no matter the size of your land, you can finish this activity in few minutes. Within let's say, within 4 to 7 minutes, you should be able to complete 125-meter straight rope, okay? So if your land is like an acre, or it's 2 acres, or it's 10 acres, or it's 100 acres, you can actually do, let's say, 1 to 2 acres a day, and like that, okay? Thank you very much. So this is about the manual process, okay? So a little recap: you set your poles, you draw your rope around it to set the spacing and the vertical lines for you. You make sure you get the right spacing, which is 2 feet, 2 feet length, and then 2 feet breadth, okay? So 2 feet row and 2 feet column for a contest, okay? And then you do your stamping to create the holes. Don't forget the recommended hole length is 1 inch. Don't take it too deep. The reason is that the seeds are very tiny, okay? So when you drop the seeds into a very deep hole, it will take long before germination happens. You don't want to wait too long for your seeds to germinate. In fact, the recommended time for germination is actually 5 to 8 days. We've seen 4 days germination here and 5 days germination here, and we've also seen 7 days and 8 days here. That's why I put that bracket. So that's what we've been experiencing so far. The seeds are very, very variable. So once you drop them in the hole, put little sand covering. Don't put it too deep and put plenty sand. It would affect your germination rate. In fact, it will take long before it comes, or it might not even come, because if it stays long inside the hole, it might get rotten, and you don't want to do that. So put little sand on it. In fact, sometimes I even try to risk it not putting sand at all, but you don't want birds to also come in and eat the seeds that you've bought. Just like that. So just put little sand on it. Once it rains on it, there you go. It will just dip inside the soil a little bit naturally, and then you are sure of germination between 5 to 8 days. Thank you so much. So I'll take you through the planting machine real quick. That is also very, very efficient and very fast. All right, guys. So there you go. We have the seed planter here. This is a mechanized seed planter, proudly sponsored by Farming in Africa, you see. So we have the pins here. That's actually the mouth. That's where the seeds drop from. And this is the receiver. So you can see I've already dropped my seeds inside already. And it has also gone through the various cartridges, okay? These ones receive the seeds, and then it selects them into the spacing. And then as I wheel the planter along, it just drops them. So the teeth would penetrate the soil and then split it open, and then it will just drop the seeds. So it does this simultaneously. So once I have the wheel behind, you can see it's just covering the spaces, the holes, with little land. This is very, very effective. In fact, I recommend that you get one of these seed planter. You can actually do 1 acre in less than 2 hours with this seed planter. Trust me, it's very, very, very efficient, and I don't think it costs that much. So you can contact the office and then get one for yourself. I'll take you through the last stage, okay? That's the seed bed. So it's normally creating a seed bed and then sprouting the seeds on it just to nest them. So it's actually a nursery bed. You sprout the seeds on it, and then you allow it to germinate after like 3 weeks to 4 weeks. That's like a month. You can start uprooting them and transplant them back to the land where you actually want them to get. So this is the third planting style that I talked about. So as you can see, I'll create my seed bed, okay? All right, guys. So once your seed bed is ready like this, you can just sprout the seeds on it just like this, okay? You just sprout them on it like this, seamlessly, right? Just drop the seeds like this. Very, very, very simple. So once you are done here, just get your watering can and you can just sprinkle water, very little water on it, and allow it to just drop down inside the seeds. You can actually use your rake or your hoe, okay? It's very advisable you use a rake to just put little sand on top of it, okay? Then after, you sprinkle your water on it. It's always recommended that you do this activity when the soil is a little moist, right? So get the soil a bit wet so that you don't have to pour so much water on it. Once you find any unwanted seeds, you clear them and then you just put them all together in form. You are done. You can get some palm trees and just lay them on it just so that it prevents the animals, the birds from taking the seeds away, and also helps the water, helps you to retain the water and then drop it on the soil naturally. Okay, this one will also check your germination for you very well and you are assured of a very good germination rate. All right guys, so after planting, it's always necessary that you keep your grasses in good shape and form. You never want to deal with unwanted weeds in your farm. Even though these are grasses, these are high-end grasses and they have a lot of nutrients. So you want to be sure it's having very good growing pace, and then it retains all of the nutrients that you need for your livestock. So I will always recommend that you do weed control in your farm, right? So you can just get normal simple tools like cutlass and a hoe. You get into your farm. So as you can see, I've weeded my farm very nicely. You can see it has a lot of spacing in between. The winds can just continue to grow wider, and then I'll be sure of good leafy when it's time for harvest. In fact, for a contest, let me show you that this plant is almost getting ready for harvest. This is like 2 months old, right? The maturity level, it's around 3 months. So after 3 months, it will be ready for maturity. But once it grows up to about 4 feet, it can grow up to about 4 feet. It doesn't normally exceed 4 feet. But once it's around 4 feet and it's even below 3 months, it has matured and you can still harvest it. Okay, that is when you have a very good soil and the rain rate is also high for you, and almost all factors are going in your favor. You are assured of a very good growth rate, and then you can get ready for harvesting. Okay, so you always try to weed your farm. You can do this practice after 1 month of germination. So after 1 month, in fact, in my next section, I'll show you a 1 month old grass and then see the level and then the differences. Then you can start weeding around it to create space for it to grow very well for you and then get ready for harvest. Thank you very much, guys.